Don in London, hello. It's January 2nd, 2010. My video's all about recovery from addiction to either substance or behaviour. My addictive substance, alcohol, over the years. But my behaviour could be addictive too, towards work, relationships, material acquisitions, looking right, feeling right, thinking right, what I should be, what I ought to be, but never quite sure inside about me. And it's taken a long time to understand that I only find out who I am on a daily basis. And addiction, well, it distorted my outlook, my feelings, my way of life, to the point where I exhausted myself by drinking and not being able to stop. That's the nature of addiction. Self-will, run riot, obsession, and trying to please people by trying to look right and never feeling right. So these days, on a daily basis, I try not to have fear in my life. Well, that's impossible actually, but less fear, less putting on a brave face and a stiff upper lip, and less utilising ego. So maybe I can have a bit more confidence, courage and faith to face the day. And what helps me? Well, family, community, and a fellowship called AA, Alcoholics Anonymous, and that is the backbone of my sobriety. It's taught me how to live. Again, a fellowship. How about that? Who would have thought it? Me, all powerful in my own little world, and now realising that I need people to help me and support me, learn, experience, strength and hope, and how to live one day long. And if I'm able to keep on learning, then I'm in the right place. But if I'm shut down, closed off, isolated, with a drink in my hand, I know where it will end up. It will certainly end up in tragedy. And the tragedy is not living life. So the Fellowship of AA is full of unique, authentic people, thank goodness, who have their own outlook, their own personal outlook on how to be sober. But we learn from each other, and we have this similarity. And I share the AA preamble here simply because it slows me into the moment of now, and it helps me share what's important about my life being sober. So the AA statement of intent, or the AA preamble, reads as this: Alcoholics Anonymous is a fellowship of men and women who share their experience, strength and hope with each other, that they may solve their common problem and help others to recover from alcoholism. The only requirement for membership is a desire to stop drinking. There are no dues or fees for AA membership. We are self-supporting through our own contributions. AA is not allied with any sect, denomination, politics, organisation or institution, does not wish to engage in any controversy, neither endorses nor opposes any causes. Our primary purpose is to stay sober and help other alcoholics to achieve sobriety. So the fellowship is there to help me keep sober, so that the rest of my life can work, and it provides me with an understanding of what I can and cannot do on a daily basis in a sober way. So if I've got sobriety, life can work, and the gift of life working is I'm learning and being included. I learn how to love people again, how to be loved back, and do something useful with my time, and find out who I am. What a gift. And it takes a lot to find ourselves in a place of addiction and admit it, and having admitted it, do something about it. And it took me 35 years of struggle trying to be right and please people, and not please myself very much, and drink a lot. So these days I don't drink a lot. In fact, I don't drink anything alcoholic, one day at a time, and then see how life turns out. So I get to find out who I can be today. That's the greatest gift. And I share AA literature here, all about the 12 steps of the 12-step action program for individuals to change their attitude and behaviour. But it's to be changed in a way which is unique and authentic to the individual, not to me, or to be the way we ought to be. It's to be ourselves. And that is the absolute truth of living, how to be ourselves in this present moment. And some people call that spiritual, or I do, which is to live in truth, in the truth of now, rather than what I might wish it to be or fantasize about. And also learn from my history, not forgetting, look back but don't stare. so I can use the wisdom of what I've learned over the years. So all my drinking time is not wasted in any shape or form, but it informs me of what will happen if I go back to it. And I share literature here, the Daily Reflections, which covers the 12 steps of AA. And the first one is about being powerless over alcohol and life being unmanageable when we drink. So the words for today, 1 page a day, January, all about step 1. And it reads like this. First, the foundation for January 2nd. Is sobriety all that we can expect of a spiritual awakening? ? No, sobriety is only a bare beginning. So sobriety is the starting point of a new life. And the spiritual awakening is seeing the truth of now. And for some people that includes a religious belief as well. So in the fellowship we have atheists, agnostics, believers, very true to their faith, and it's what suits the individual which is important, not what suits anybody else. So we're not a fellowship where we have dogma, although some people can get dogmatic about their outlook, like me. Practicing the AA program is like building a house. First I had to pour a big, thick concrete slab on which to erect the house. That to me was the equivalent of stopping drinking. But it's pretty uncomfortable living on a concrete slab, unprotected and exposed to the heat, cold, wind and rain. So I built a room on the slab by starting to practice the program. The first room was rickety because I wasn't used to the work. But as time passed, as I practiced the program, I learned to build better rooms. The more I practiced, the more I built, the more comfortable and happy was the home I now have to live in. And in my early days, I was full of my own dogma, full of my own fear, had a great big ego, which was as brittle as anything. And I was putting on a brave face, because I thought I ought to look right. But the gift of the program is that we find out how to be unique and authentic, how to be frightened when there's fear about, how to be able to acknowledge the fear that's going on. Because when we take the drink away, life is frightening, because there's nothing to take the edge off. There's nothing to make us able to cope with our feelings, because often we have suppressed our feelings for so long. When they come out in great big dollops which we don't understand. So we go from denial about where we've got to, through to anger and ragefulness, frustration and depression, and then start to look at accepting where we are and how to live our feelings and live in the moment, rather than suppress feelings and not live in the moment and pretend all over again. So it's a very difficult transition into acceptance of being an addict, and it's tough. It really is very tough. But a fellowship, whichever one suits you, whether it's alcohol or another one, it can help with the transition into sober life. And for me, going back to non-sober life, drink, drugs or whatever it might be, I don't want and I don't need, if I know where I am on a daily basis. So my attitude and behaviour is being shaped on a daily basis towards truth, open, honest, willing, and being a part of, being included in life and society, and especially family. So, step 1, powerless over alcohol and life is unmanageable. That's where we start off, and many people have started to come back into the fellowship, either returning from a Christmas bit of research or New Year's research, and it bites us in the backside quite quickly. And brand new people who are thinking, my God, why are these people looking so cheerful? Why are they laughing at tragedy as much as they're laughing at the comedy of life? And the answer is, humour is important, as is every emotion to do with sadness as well. So much ado going on in the fellowship, and it's great because it's got energy about living sober. So at the end of these videos I will share the Serenity Prayer, which is shared at every meeting I go to at the end, which is about acceptance, and it's to God or good conscience. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to learn the difference for me, or know the difference for me, is just one day at a time.